Hello and welcome to this Nellyvite video. My name's Nelly. I am a Senior Solutions Architect for Wasabi here in the UK, covering UKI, Nordics and South Africa. So today we're just going to have a play. Synology have very kindly lent me a few of their boxes. Thank you for that. I've got a little Snoopy sat on top of them up there. So today we're going to have a look at Hyper Backup and Cloud Sync. So we're going to go through set both the products up, see how they work, and then do some playing around, potentially with some immutability and stuff like that, just to see how they fare. So first thing, as always, we will lose my face. There we go. So let's jump straight into it. So the box we're going to be using today is a 725 Plus. Like I said, Synology lent me this box to do some work with, so that's what we're going to be using today. And the first thing we're going to do is install the two packages that I talked about. So if you come up to the package center, you can see a list of the packages. You can either type them in, so if I want Hyper Backup, I'm just going to go Hyper and it'll show me Hyper Backup. Let's just hit install on that one. Or you could just obviously search through the list of packages that are available on the kind of home page there. So this is now installed Hyper Backup. So we'll just go back to let's just delete that out of there and go back to the main page. So, I installed Hyper Backup. Cloud Sync was the other one I want to install. So I don't need to search for it. I'll just install it from here. So there we go. I've got my two installed packages. Hyper Backup there and Cloud Sync. So I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of buckets to use. So let's come into buckets. And first of all, I'm just going to make these buckets mutable. So I'm not going to enable immutability. The applications themselves aren't object lock aware, but I'm just interested later on maybe to have a play and see how they actually cope if you do enable bucket level compliance. But for now, I'm just going to create a standard bucket. So this one could be NS Hyper. Yep, that's good. Region UK EUS 1. So I'm not going to put anything else on this at all. I can just go ahead and create the bucket. I'm going to use the root access keys for these as well, just to make it simple. And then we'll create another bucket and we will call this one NS Cloud Sync. There we go. Again, I'll put this in EUS 1. And again, I'm not going to do anything special to the bucket. So I've got my Cloud Sync and my Hyper bucket down here. Excellent. Right. Okay. So let's go back to Synology now. And so in our package center, we've got Hyper Backup and Cloud Sync ready to go. Let me point out in the file station as well, I've got two folders. Well, actually, I've got shares. I've got three shares, three folders. We're only going to use the Back Me Up and the Sync Me. The other one was something I was trying with something else, testing something else. So Back Me Up is a folder. It's just a share, it's just got some documents, Excel, PDFs and text files. And Sync Me's got exactly the same. So Sync Me we're going to use for Cloud Sync, and Back Me Up we're going to use with Hyper Backup. The first one we'll go for is Hyper Backup. So you get two options, folders and packages, or entire system or LUN, so three options. So what do you want to back up? So for me today, I'm just going to do folders, a folder, but you do have the ability to back up the entire system, including configurations and some, it does block level, and also backing up LUNs as well if you've got some, block level LUNs that you're passing up to servers or machines. But no, we're just going to do folders and packages today. Now you have to pick where you want to send your data. So it could be Synology's C2 store, it could be remote NAS. Nope, but for us, obviously we want to send it to Wasabi. So we're not listed on the cloud service. We are under S3 storage. So you click S3 storage and then you drop down, ignore Amazon, obviously they'll charge you for doing stuff. You want a custom server URL. So we'll put in the endpoint that we're going to use. So that's s3.eu-west-1.wasabisys.com. Let me just check I got that right. Yes, and then the access and secret keys. So I'll just grab those off my password manager here. Which there we go, 1 and 2, and then when we hit the down arrow here, we should authenticate, see the list of buckets, and we can see the 2 that we created, Cloud Sync and Hyper. We're doing Hyper backup, so we're going to check the NS Hyper one. Directory, I'll just leave it as default now. There we go, and on to next. Now we choose what we want to back up. So I can go down levels. I could say, okay, I only want a certain folder. That's actually the Cloud NAS one. We don't want that. We want back me up. So I could choose an individual folder or individual, whatever I want. But no, I want to back up the whole of that share, that file share. So there we go. We'll select that. And do I want to back up any applications? No, I'm quite good. I'll leave this for now. I just want to literally back up that file share. And now we get to choose our backup settings. So we'll give this a name. So what was the share called? It was called Back Me Up. So I'm going to just call the task backup of Back Me Up. There we go. Do I want notifications? Yes. So I want it to send me alerts when the backup happens. A file changelog details. Do I want that so I can download? I'll leave that off for now. Compress the backup? Yes. Encrypt the backup in transfer? Yes. And then when do I want the backup to run? So I'm going to say daily at, well, most of the family's in bed by 11 o'clock. So that's when I want the backup to run, when they're not going to be, using the NAS. It wouldn't matter if they were; it would still back up quite happily. But it's always good to have your backup window when least traffic is happening. And do I want it to schedule an integrity check? Yeah. Okay. Let's do Sunday at. Well, if the backup's going to happen, then I'm going to have my integrity check at 1 o'clock in the morning. That should be plenty of time. I can enable client-side encryption, in which case I have to put in a password and confirm it. I'm not going to use client-side encryption for this. So am I happy with my backup settings? Yes. So next. So on the rotation settings, this is where we can decide how many recover points we're going to keep, how many kind of incremental backups. So I get the option, it hits into 256 versions, first of all. And it'll tell me pretty much, I'm going to keep versions going back all the way to 9 months if I keep this. Now, generally I wouldn't. Maybe I'll have 30 days worth of backups. So it's going to tell me, that's how far my backups are going to go back. So pretty much 4 weeks, 30 days, 1 month. So that's cool. In fact, actually, just for this, I'm going to go for 7. Other options are Smart Recycle. So Smart Recycle is going to give you a kind of GFS backup rotation. So it will do, in fact, let's just save some more of that again. So it's going to start doing, in fact, let me go up to, somewhere longer. So it's going to start doing some hourly backups, daily backups, weekly backups, and it will tell you exactly, what it's going to take. So, this is going to go back to 5 years worth of backups with 300 versions. So it's smart. It does it itself. You just enable it and it will kind of do the backups, kind of a GFS backup rule itself. Or you can do your own customize. You can decide how many dailies, weeklies, hourlies you want to do. So I'm just going to go from earliest versions, and I'm going to stick with my 1 week's worth of backups. So what that's going to do, obviously, on day number 8, it's going to recycle the first version, and just keep that backup chain going. So there we've got our summary. Just check it through. Yep, more than happy, and then we'll hit done. So as soon as it's configured the backup, I can hear them whirring away behind me. As soon as it's configured that, it'll say, do you want to back up now? Yes or no. So we'll go yes. And then that'll prepare to back up. We can see our target here is EU West 1. And it's got the right bucket, and it's going to start doing the backup. There we go, started now. So obviously there's not much data in here, so it's backing up that shared folder, and in a minute it will be good. Cool. So that's finished its backup. Let's have a quick look in the bucket. And it's hyper. So there we go. We can see our hyper backup has created its structure, whatever it needs. It's a typical backup, so you don't generally understand what's in the files themselves. It just creates backup files. So that's good. We can see there's data there. We can see the backup stats. We can see when it was backed up, how much size, so 220 meg. Interestingly, we can put some alerts on storage usage and stuff like that. So that's cool to stop you. If you're worried about your capacity, you can put alerts on to make sure the if the usage goes up to a certain amount, then you get alerted by it. So excellent job. So that's good. So what we'll do in a minute, I'll maybe drop some more data into that share, back it up again, see what happens. But basically that's a very simple, quick configuration of hyper backup. So adding in the source, adding in the folder, connected it to a bucket, running a quick backup, and just making sure that it backed up properly. Cool. So what we're going to do now is take a look at sync. So we'll just go ahead and find that. So Cloud Sync, you'll see it here on the list of packages. So we'll go ahead and open that. I'll shrink these down. So when you open Cloud Sync, basically what Cloud Sync is it's going to synchronize one of the shares, one of the volumes with Wasabi. So you can see it pops up a box saying, who do you want to connect to? So for Wasabi, we just choose S3 storage. And then we can go ahead and we just, on the drop down here, we choose custom server URL. And we put in the server that you want to connect to. So I'm going to go to EU West 1. So it's S3 dot EU-West-1 dot Wasabi. Oh, if I could spell. sys.com. There we go. So s3.eu-west-1.wasabisys.com. Now I need to get my secret and access keys. Let me just grab those quickly. So we'll take this one here. Boink. And the secret key there. Boink. And now it should give us a list of buckets. Now I have created one already for this, and I have called it NS Synology Sync, just so I'm aware of which bucket I'm using. Now, you have to set one of these syncs up for every single folder that you want to synchronize. So give this one a name. So I'm going to go with, so I did create a bucket earlier. I created a bucket called Sync Me, not bucket, sorry, a share called Sync Me. So I'm going to select the whole of that share. There should be some data in there. Let's just have a look. Sync Me, yep, I've got some docs, XLs, and some PDFs and other stuff. You can see that by opening the file station. I can see them in there. So sync direction bi-directional. So basically, I get the option of any new files that get put into this this share will get uploaded to Wasabi, and any new files that get put into the Wasabi bucket will get automatically synced back down to this file share. So that's bi-directional. Or we can have download the remote changes only. So only any new files that are put in Wasabi will appear on the Synology, but not the other way around. Or you can have upload the local changes only. So only changes put in the Synology share will get uploaded to Wasabi, but anything I create in the Wasabi share won't get downloaded to the Synology share. So I'm going to go bi-directional. Part size is fine. We'll leave that. We'll leave everything else as default. I could enable encryption here, so encryption from the Synology box, but I'm not going to for this one. So then we'll go next, and we'll see our summary. If we click on advanced settings, it just gives me some filters if I want to exclude some of the folders, or a file filter, certain types if I didn't want, if I wanted to exclude, you know, music files or video files, or any other extension that I wanted to. I can do them in the advanced settings, and I'll just hit the done button, and it says I've completely set up the first sync. So there we go. We can see it is synchronizing. It tells you the tasks, what folder it's synchronizing. Scheduler, if I want to change the schedule, so maybe I want this sync to only happen during the, you know, the kind of non-busy hours of the day. Maybe I want this to just kick off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and only work, you know, up until 6 o'clock in the morning or something. Then I could enable the scheduler here. And then on settings, I've got some other controls I can put in, like the polling period, how many seconds before it polls the Wasabi storage for new files or vice versa. And also if I want to put any download rates or upload rates for single files, I could put the traffic control rates in here. And then logs is just going to create me a list of logs of, you know, exactly what happened, what files were uploaded, you know, what time and when. And that's it really. So let's take a quick look in the bucket. So let me just open that down here. I'll just slide it up. So we can see I've got my NS Synology sync. And in there has gone all of my files from the share on the Synology box there. So that's exactly what I wanted to happen, and that's now ticked. So everything's up to date. So what I'm going to do now, I'll drop some new files into the share, and I'll drop some different files into the bucket, and we'll see them synchronize each way. So I've just opened S3 browser, and you can see I'm connected. I've got my NS Synology sync. I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder in here, if it wants to allow me to. Oh, that's popped up down here. We'll call this NS new folder. In fact, we'll put a big W. We'll put a W on the end so we know it's Wasabi. In fact, we'll put a -W. There we go. Create new folder. And then in that folder, let's go ahead and just upload a file. There we go. BMW document. All good fun. Okay, so what we should see is CloudSync should eventually talk to the bucket, see that there's a new file there, and it should download that and create the folder and download that file. So we'll just give that some time to see if that happens. So sorry, I refreshed it and realized I wasn't recording the video, so I just did a refresh, and you can see that new folder has appeared and my BMW document is in there. And vice versa, we'll go ahead and just create a folder in here, and we'll call this Synology F1 folder 1. There we go. And then we shall let's upload let's upload this picture of me. There we go, Nelly Small. So there we go. So what we should see in the bucket in a minute is a new folder called Synology F1 and a new file inside it called Nelly Small. I'll just open S3 browser again, and there we go, it's already there. So we've got our Synology F1 and we've got our nallysmall.jpg. So now it's working both ways. So if I create a new file on the Synology and a new folder or whatever, then it synchronizes up to Wasabi, and then vice versa. If I create a file folder inside a bucket, then it comes back down to the Synology box. Excellent. So that was just a little look at a couple of products that are available on the Synology DS range. So they were Hyper Backup and Cloud Sync. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Ooh, I don't know why it's doing that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and yeah, we'll catch up again soon.